everybody! How you guys doing? Welcome back to the Cherry Bomb Blossom Boutique. My name is Ren and your lovely fashion dolly. How you guys doing? How's it going? Welcome to... What day is it? What time is it? Where am I? It's Sunday. Hello everybody, welcome to Sunday. How are you guys doing? I hope you're having a good weekend. What do you guys do this Sunday? I know that normally I have a bit more of an orderly way of doing things when it comes to streams recently, but you know, I've been kind of running on like adrenaline mainly. Because I just want to, I just been really trying to finish that goddamn video for the water type gym leader that I've been working on. But man, it's been kind of hard recently because real life is getting in my way. It's just real life in general. And I must tell you, girly, I must tell you, right now, I'm running in 2 hours of sleep, seasonal depression, and allergies. So I think it's gonna be a great day today. The reason why I'm running in 2 hours of sleep though is because my brother brought 4 Rottweilers, like 4 baby Rottweilers, into the home, into the domicile, if you will. And you know, we're just taking care of them for a little bit, just for a while, until their owner can pick them up, right? But the thing is though, those little things are monsters. They are evil. They're evil incarnate. Every single day has been something that they've broken, that they've taken away from us, because you know they break it and then they spill things. Like when the first night that they were here, they destroyed my mom's orchidea. They destroyed my mom's plants. Then on the second night, the whole kitchen was full of manure, if you will, full of waste. And then the third day, they somehow got into the patio and completely spilled all of the paint. They were soaked in pastel pink house paint. So, I love dogs, don't get me wrong, but I don't think I've never been able to deal with anything that unwieldy, that unruly. Hey Huskin, how you doing, sweetheart? How's it going? I hope you're having a good Sunday. What you been up to today? But yeah, they're just menaces. There's way too much chaotic energy in such tiny bodies. I ain't gonna lie. And it made me realize that I don't, like, I have cycles, you know? I have cycles. I have moon phases, if you will, when it comes to whether or not I want to be a parent. But the moment that any amount of responsibility falls on me, that's when I kind of crumble on it. Like, I can barely be responsible for myself. Being an adult is hard enough already. Imagine having children. Like, and I know it's not the same thing, you know, puppies versus children. Because, you know, unlike puppies, you can lock your children in a cage called a cradle. And they'll be fine. Your job as a parent is to keep them from dying. Your job with puppies is to keep them from killing you from stress. Like, it's so incredibly hard. I don't know how my mom did it. I don't know how my mom had, no, on top of having 3 children, I don't know how she was able to deal with puppies every time. Like, it's astonishing. I respect the work of mothers. But yeah, what you guys were up to today? What you guys been doing? Aside from the whole dog thing, I mostly just been working on, you know, the stuff with the water gym leader. But also, I've been doing a lot of sleuthing in the internet. Why? Because, you know, I'm a little bit seasonally depressed. You know, it's getting hot. It's getting hot in here. And so, I just been doing scrolling on Twitter for a while. And I must say, it's the first time I ever cared enough to make a Twitter thread. Because I usually don't give a shit, right? Like, I watch people say random shit all the time on Twitter. And normally I don't give a fuck. Like, you do you, you can live forever, die tomorrow. You can have an organ transplant and I wouldn't be any wiser, right? Because I just don't care enough to engage with people who are clearly let's just say, oh, what is the word that I'm looking for? Personally, intentionally obtuse, you know, trying to misunderstand things just because. Because here's the thing, I lately, for those who don't know, by the way, I play Genshin. I play a lot of Hoyoverse games, right? I play it on my own time. They're my own guilty pleasure. Please don't get into gacha games, people. Run if you can, run. And so I play a lot of Genshin Impact. I play a lot of Honkai Star Rail. I really like CCC. That is like the third Hoyo game that I've been playing. You will not convince me to play Honkai Impact though. That is the one thing. That is where I draw the line. I can only have so many toxic games that I can get into. You know, I already play League of Legends. I feel like that's enough. So I got into it with the people with Twitter. You know, because here's the thing, Genshin Impact has been having this little drama lately, this drama that has been a little bit blown out of proportion, which is people are getting upset at others rightfully complaining that Genshin Impact doesn't have the best character designs, you know, that Genshin Impact is not too honest with what the characters that they put out are supposed to be, right? And I saw something hilarious, something that made me cackle out loud for how ridiculous it sounded, which is people were saying, oh, but you wouldn't wear your work clothes outside of work. You wouldn't dress to work unless you have to go to work. So why should characters express or have to wear anything related to the job that they're supposed to be doing and the role that they have, right? Which to me is like, I don't know what kind of thing you're smoking so that you to get that conclusion, right? Because here's the deal. I'm gonna break your world, Beverly. I'm gonna make you see a whole new world. Genshin Impact characters are not real people. They are a product. They are made to sell either themselves, the story, the game. They're made to bait you into pulling for them. They are literally devices that are meant to connect with you in some way, shape, or form, so you feel compelled to pull them, be it because they're hot, be it because their design is cool, be it because the story is cool, right? So, when you say that with character design, you are completely invalidating the reason as for why they were created to begin with, which is they are meant to communicate something. And that's the thing about gacha games. Gacha games have this unfortunate thing because they have to justify the gambling. They have to justify the incredibly predatory tactics that they use in some way, shape, or form. Therefore, the character must look like the most primo shit that you can ever find. That is the reason why gacha aesthetics are so convoluted, why Genshin characters have a million trinkets dangling upon them, textures that shouldn't be there, right? So, when you try to engage with Genshin in the same way that you engage with a real person, it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work at all. Because a character is not a person. They are not real. A person can wear whatever they want and be justified in their feelings, because that is about them. But when a character meant for a video game, meant for any type of media, is wearing something, it's an active decision that is being made. Make no mistake. On character design, every single decision that you make is intentional. just as though you were when you are putting on an outfit, when you're putting out your clothes for the day, you are thinking about what you're going to be doing for the day. You're thinking about if it's gonna be hot, is it gonna be cold? Do I want to be comfortable or do I want to look hot? Do I want to look comfy and hot? Do I care to wear heels or do I want to, you know, have some respect for my body and just wear those Crocs, baby? Like, everything is an active decision when it comes to design. And when you, as a person, actively state, I don't care about the character design, I just want pretty characters, that's how you can excuse designs being shit. That's how you excuse Genshin Impact just putting tinfoil on a turd and it looks good. And it's kind of sad. It's sad and it's so dystopian. And I'm sorry if I'm being a little bit too cynical about it, but you cannot do this. You cannot give Hoyoverse an excuse to lower the production value. Because at the end of the day, yes, there is nothing wrong with characters who don't outright state who they are. There's nothing wrong with a character that doesn't have a name tag that says, hey, my name is blank, I do blank. That's fine. You don't have to do that. But then the problem comes is that when every character is like that, no character is special. They are the labubus of character design. Cute. They're really fun. But it doesn't say anything. It's boring to engage with. And the example they were using was Mualani and Shilonen. Mualani is aside from being like a water sports girly, like she loves water and she loves anything to do with the water, the ocean, whatever. And it was Shilonen, who is a blacksmith, but also her hobby is music and being a DJ and being into roller derby, I think. So with Molani, she's dressed as a more sporty version of like a traditional Hawaiian wear. That's fine. That's no problem. And Shilonen is basically just wearing culottes with just like with just a tank top and a jacket that doesn't even fit her, right? So the problem came into being with the fact that Shilonen is meant to be a blacksmith, but there is nothing. Actually, let me give you visuals, because I feel like if I keep talking about it like this, you guys are not gonna understand me. Shilonen. Hold on. Let me give you the visuals of Shilonen. Alright, there you are. Meow meow meow. Meow meow meow. Meow meow. There you are. Whoops. What happened to this? Well? Why is it this way? Why are you doing this to me? Hold on, give me 1 second. I need to fix this. There we go. Okay, so this is Shilonen, right? This is Genshin Impact's brilliant character design. So, the main thing that you have to take away from her... Actually, no. I'm gonna do a little bit of an exercise. What do you see when you look at her? What is the first impressions, first vibes that you're getting? Chad, what is it that you see when you look at her? I bet that you're thinking, damn, denim. Fair enough, I guess. You know what? Fair enough. Denim. We love that denim. That only lets me know that you were staring at her crotch, though. Anything you'd like to say, Huskin? Oh, and yellow. See, that's the thing, though. It invites you to engage in a very surface level. You know, like it's your first thoughts are very, very surface level, right? But you know, when you look at her, you might think, party girl. You know, she looks like a rave girl. She looks ready for a rave. Included with a braid that is a completely different color than her hair. You know, a bright blue pink braid, and really high-waisted shorts that has a slit on it, you know, she looks ready for Coachella. She looks ready to be at Coachella. Now, I will not admit that Chilonen does have some roots in, if I remember right, it's Brazilian, I think, in Brazilian culture. She particularly resembles Brazilian dancers, like some very specific type of street dancing, right? So it's not that she's not being accurate to the culture that she's meant to represent. However, would you believe me if I told you that this character is also a blacksmith? That this character is meant to be a blacksmith? Would you believe that, or would you think that I'm shitting you? Oh, by the way, I didn't notice. Mara Weber, thank you so much for your follow. I appreciate it. I'm so sorry. I didn't notice. For some reason, it didn't go off. Weird. Anyway. And you see, the argument is that Chilonen doesn't have to show that she's a blacksmith because, you know, nobody dresses themselves for work. They dress themselves for themselves. And that's a fair thing to say. But in the story, when you talk, her importance to the story is nothing but being the blacksmith. She is the one who made the motorcycle for Mavuika. She is the one who made her own skates. A lot of technology is made by her. So, in her importance with the story, she does a lot of blacksmithing. That's her main thing. That's what she's meant to do in the story. Now, I understand that they are giving a bit more important to another source of her character design, which is music. She is a DJ, right? They're giving importance to that, therefore they're going with the Raver Girl aesthetic. Damn, this ice trainer is on. This is not an ice trainer. I'm rambling and complaining about Genshin Impact because I got heated on Twitter. But hey Jerry, how you doing, sweetheart? How was your stream? Did you enjoy? By the way, I don't know what your audience thinks about me, that they think that I would be into that kind of man. Like, I could be convinced, but it's not the first thing that I would think of. But anyway, to wrap up, because this has gone long enough, a really long tangent. A character doesn't have to be obvious on what they do, right? It doesn't have to be. But you have to balance out the character's personal character traits, which is, you know, she's a little bit lazy, she likes music, and she kinda hates work. Okay, fair enough. She's not going to dress like a blacksmith, right? She's not going to dress like a blacksmith. However, that's when either you do one or two things. Either, at some point in the story, you show an alternative outfit of what she is wearing when she is working, or two, you bother to at least try to incorporate the whole blacksmith idea with her basic getup. Like, you know what? She doesn't care about work, so maybe she's just wearing the apron on just one side of her legs, so that so that when she's blacksmithing, you know, she doesn't fall on her skin, right? That's it. It doesn't have to be anything more complex. But yeah, anyway. I would ask for people on Genshin Twitter to not speak on character design unless they're willing to engage on it properly and not call anybody who has criticism a fucking loser. Thank you very much for coming to my tech talk. Anyway. We got a lot to talk about, folks. A lot to do. It's kind of funny, the Jerry's Speed Montanger's taste. I'm not really sure how to feel about it, to be honest, because I feel like, I don't know, they don't watch me enough to know what my taste is. And I feel like my taste is just like somebody with a pulse. Like somebody who's warm, somebody who's alive. That's what my taste in men is. But I will say that I do have a preference for a certain type of aesthetics. I like them bigger. Either bigger in the sense that they're bears, or bigger in the sense that they are buff. Either or. I also have a particular like affinity for like more bishoyo kind of man, like bishonen. I just don't like twink though, which is funny because I advertise myself as a twink. But listen, fanboys are not for me. You are what you eat, and I clearly don't. Wait, no, that's. You know what? Let's move on. Let's move on. All right, so folks, what are we going to be doing today? What is to the purpose of today's stream? Well, today we're going to be working on more fashion reviews of the Pokemon gym leaders. In this case, we're going with Ice type. And I will say, this is no shade to Pokemon character designers at all, really. But this is the first time in a while that I've been incredibly confused about a batch of character designs. I am very intrigued as for some of the decisions that were made for them. In particular, where's my hand? I am clearly prepared for this, folks. I am prepared. Give me 1 second. Where's my hand? Oh. Sorry, I got caught. All right, here we go. I have a hand now. I am all powerful. Hey Pablo, how you doing, sweetheart? How's it going? Thank you so much for the kiss redeem. I appreciate it. Thank you. All right. So we are going to start with this dude, which I forget the name. What is the name of this dude again? Hold on, I did my research, but I completely forgot about it. Is it Bryson? I think it's Bryson. Hold on. Can you tell that I have no experience with the early generations of Pokemon? No, it's Price. His name is Price. Wow, what a fancy name. Time to break the ice. Okay, so we have Price. Hi, Turbo. How you doing, sweetheart? So, one of the main things that Ice is particularly known for is for having gym leaders that are on the colder side. Like, either because they're cool, either because they are cold in a manner of speaking, or because they tend to, you know, wear some type of invernal fashion, right? And so, Price being the second of the gym leader, the second of the gym leaders. Well, he's the first ice gym leader, but he's not the first ice trainer. The first ice trainer that pleasure goes to, what's her name again? Lorelei. So, for many people, Price is their introduction to the ice type gym leader. Now, I think it's fair for me to say that this is a little basic. Like, it's just an old person wearing invernal clothes, right? There is not that much going on. Like, there is not. It's not that interesting, right? Like, sure, we can tell that it's ice because, you know, he's wearing warm clothes, and because he's an old man, and he has a very severe space. But overall, I'm not necessarily charmed by this. And the thing is I feel like this is an overcorrection that happened from Generation 2. Because, by the way, I don't know if you have noticed, Chad, but I mostly addressed like the most recent incarnation of these gym leaders because they do tend to get a lot of what's it called? A lot of remakes, right? Remakes do happen, and so they usually make the designs better, unless you're Diamond and Pearl. If you're from Generation 4, apparently you don't deserve nothing, and Game Freak can be lazy with their reboot. But you know, that's neither here nor there. And the thing with Price is that in Generation 2, when he came out, he was much more basic than this. He actually didn't look like he could be an ice type trainer at all. And the thing that they were going with, at least from what I understand, is opposites attract. You know, they're opposites. He was basically wearing just shorts and a shirt, you know, a very summer fit, which was, you know, supposed to contract with the fact that he is a nice gym leader, you know. He uses his ice Pokemon to keep himself cool in the summer. So I think that because Pokemon is a very literal game and they don't tend to, it doesn't lend itself to nuance, right? It kind of had to correct to this. A character design that's basically just, you know, he's from Wintertown, if you couldn't tell. Winter, is winter cold? Winter, cold. It's cold. It's ice. So I'm not really impressed by this. To be honest, I could... Hace frío. Yes, indeed. Hace frío. He's just not special. He genuinely looks like an NPC. Like if we grab our little thing right here, my little very professional ranking category thing. I forgot what it's called. Requisites. Let's call it requisite. My little point table thing. One of the things that I try to do with this series is that I try to be fair. Like, you know, I try to be fair. I'm not always fair. Sometimes my bias escapes me. And so one of the things that I'm judging here is whether or not they represent their type very well, or they could be read as an NPC that shouldn't be a gym leader to begin with. And according to my rubric, he is just right back in the middle. He's just here. As expected of a type gym leader. Nothing too crazy, Dio. We're not breaking any rules. We're reinforcing we're reinforcing stereotypes, you know? If anything, what he does have going with him is the fact that he is more of a cold demeanor. Like the mean cold, not like cold as in unexpressionless. Like, this person will stare you down. This grandpa will beat you with his cane. He will go out from he will get out from his recliner chair, grab his bat, and break your kneecaps. And so, in that sense, I can completely see it. He's even a bit spiky when it comes to his when it comes to his bufanda, his scarf. So, I think that for his motif, what he's meant to represent, which is just un viejo cascarrabias, a very angry grandpa, I think it's okay. It's a nice concept. It's nothing out of the ordinary, though. And as for color palette, I mean, it's fine. You could do worse. It's blue. It has some he's wearing some very nice khakis. But that's really about it. So yeah, I'm not really interested. I'm not really impressed by Price. But hey, he has, as an introduction to an ice gym leader, he is just fine. He is perfectly mid. So, without further ado, he has 6 points. There is only 6 points in this. Nobody wanted to use ice Pokemon to do a gym leader in that area, and they just grab a random grandpa. You know what? Maybe it's because he was so mean to people. They were like, you know what? We don't want kids to be coming here and being loud asses, so we're gonna have a grandpa, old Grandpa Jenkins, shoot them in the spot. But yeah, there is nothing that much to be said. So sorry that this is a little bit short, but we're gonna move on from Price because there is really just nothing here. It's a bit of a nothing burger. Oh, speaking of nothing burgers. Speaking of things that don't say anything at all. of things that are not impressive, they're not creative, and they say nothing. You hear me out, and nothing of importance has been said. So we have candies. Clarification is candies, not Candace. Candies. I don't know why that is what the importance is. It's because it has ice in the names apparently. Just like her being named Candace for fight's sake. Why candies? That is such a weird name. Anyway, so from what I read for candies, there is actually nothing that much going on. You know, this was still in the era in which being a gym leader actually paid your bills. You know, this was in the era in which inflation had become so bad that all gym leaders had to pick up a second job. You know, so Candice in herself, her concept is the fact that she's just your run-of-the-mill college girl. She's not to be anything more than just a girl who happens to like ice Pokemon. And the funny thing is, I read up on her bio, and I tried to look up as much for her as possible. And something that you find out as you speak to the NPCs of the store of the town is that she is a girl who's into romance, fashion, which bitch wear, and Pokemon. You know, and there's really not a concept there. Like, the concept is like the most basic thing that you can ever find, and it shows. It shows. Because she is not wearing anything that could separate herself with the normal schoolgirl trainers. Which I think they're called last trainers, I think. She is barely different from any last trainers. And maybe that's the point, right? Maybe that's the point. Maybe that's what they're trying to do. However, I think that there could have been done... Something more could have been done to try and give that to make her a little bit more special without making her too different from the last trainers. Because, you know, if she's supposed to be a college girl that is just here to have some fun and maybe she's just taking care of the gym because her dad had it, you know, maybe we could do something with that. We can try to incorporate the ice a bit more. This color sure is the color of the ice type, right? That's the color of the ice type. But we could have tried to introduce at least a little bit of decals, you know? Like, maybe this is a little basic, a little bit boring. But then again, she is boring, so... Then again, it's not like you can blame me for only thinking about this. What? There. Hold on. Like, this is a little bit decal-y into its shape language, and I would usually encourage to do something a bit different. Like, you can do something like that, maybe. I really do like the leg warmers are fun. I will say that is a really fun aspect of her character design because it is really, it's a choice to be had, that's for sure. But I don't know, if maybe there was some way to make her ribbon look like what's it called again? A snowflake? Maybe. I mean, it already has, it needs another point, so maybe, I don't know. I don't know if this is possible. I don't know if this has any logic, by the way, because it will have to look good. Like, sure, you can have really good ideas, but if these ideas don't look good, then it really doesn't kind of do anything. But, you know, something like that, maybe. That actually looks a little bit ugly. Maybe you can try to do, like a brooch. Like, brooches are not common, and if she's supposed to be into fashion, maybe she having something that shows a bit more personality. Like, she's into jewelry, you know? Hold on, let me just... Like, maybe this is a little fancy. Maybe this is a little bit too fancy for a college girl. And that's fair. At the end of the day, her concept is just a little bit too basic for you to do much of anything with. But, you know, something like that. I don't know. Maybe I'm hallucinating. Maybe this is not right. Who knows? But that should be enough to tell you that maybe there needs to be... She needs to go back to the drawing board. Because there is nothing that special about her aside from her hair. Which also... Girl, drop the link. Drop the link to your hairstylist. Drop the link to the hairspray. Because those braids are staying up, bitch. They're staying up. I need to know what kind of glue she's using. What kind of contact cement is she spraying on these things? Son chorizos. ¿Te gustan mis tresitas? No, son chorizos. Just a college girl that loves Yuri on Ice and she wanted to be a part-time job as an ice gym leader. Yeah, maybe, you know, maybe being an ice gym leader is her part-time job. Which is ironic because on Platinum, she's actually supposed to be in charge of protecting the temple that has Reggie eyes on it. I don't know. Even she herself doesn't seem to understand why she has that responsibility. But apparently she has it, because, you know, let's trust the college girl who will probably get heartbroken because her crush said no to her going to prom, and then she's gonna dye her hair red and completely fuck it up and fry it. You know, let's trust her with the fate of the world. Why not? At the end of the day, we have child labor, so we can do that apparently. But yeah, she's really nothing special. I'm not impressed. I feel like she should have benefited a lot from Game Freak not being fucking lazy and actually doing a Diamond and Pearl reboot. But I guess we're not doing that, you know? I guess we aren't doing that. So yeah, let's see. Let's see a little rubric here. Hello, can you please? Thank you. Yeah. Color palette is fine. I actually like it. I actually like it a little bit more. I like it a little bit more than Prices. Primarily because I like this color of teal better. It feels a bit more, what's to say, more joyful, more youthful. I like it better. Yeah, no. You couldn't take this. You couldn't tell that this is a nice type gym leader. I doubt you can tell. I feel like actually, Chad, I'm gonna ask you a very fair question. If you didn't know the context of this stream, if you're just coming in, you didn't read the title, and you're just listening to me yap here, right? What would your first impressions be? What would you see? If I tell you this is a gym leader, would you actually guess that this was Ice? Or would you say something else? I'm actually really curious as for what you would think. Yeah. Just a random trainer, right? Right? Just a random trainer. She's just, again, we be abducting just normal people going about their lives, and then they, you know, we force them to be gym leaders. It's just weird. It's weird. They're kind of a flop. And this is something that you're gonna notice from Ice-type gym leaders in general, is that the designs of Ice-type gym leaders are not that honest. They tend to be minimalistic in a way that is not flattering or fun, you know? At least what she has going for her, though, is that this is really our only Ice-type gym leader who has a more of a warm personality, who's not really intimidating, who represents more the fun of a snow day rather than being cold as ice. So I can give her that. Her personality genuinely comes through, but as a character design that's meant to communicate a gym leader who's supposed to be the paragon of training, oof. there is barely a concept or motif here. I'm so sorry, Candace. All right, let's do math, people. Let's do math. Let's do some math over here. So that is 4 plus... Was it 8? Yeah, 4 plus 8 divided by 3. Oof, oh god, this is our lowest score yet. Oh, that kind of hurts. Oh, I'm doing my girl so wrong. All right, this is a 4. It's a 4. We're being methodical about this, folks. I'm not being biased, I promise. I'm trying to be methodical. The only ones that I remember besides the last 2 Gens ones. Ooh, really? I mean, they're the more iconic designs, honestly. All right, let's get rid of this one. Oh, this is fun. This is actually fun. This is super, super fun. This is so fun. I would like you guys to... I like him a lot, but for different reasons that I don't tend to generally express. But I want you guys to know, once again, Chad, what do you think he is? What do you think his deal is? What is the special thing that characterizes him? If you had to guess a job, what job would he have? I'm gonna drink some water while you guys tell me. Es como yo, tiene frío de un solo lado. You're only cold on one side, really? Damn. To be fair though, it is a very tried and proven method that when it's cold, but then you put when you put something on, like a sweater or something, sometimes you will feel hot, and so your body cannot decide whether or not it wants to be a bitch or not. And so the thing that you can do is just not wear socks. Just wear a sweater, but don't wear socks. I promise you, you're going to feel cool while also not feeling too hot. I promise you that. I don't know. Just do the, if you're in bed, just do the method of just one leg. Have one leggy out. Extend that leggy outside of the cupboards. It's gonna feel so cool. Okay, so this little fella, this lovely fella right here. I forgot his name. Shit, what is his name? Where is his name? Bryson. Oh, this is Bryson. Wow, there's so many names that are basically the same. Shit. But this is Bryson, right? Bryson is an actor. He is an action movie actor. So imagine Jackie Chan, Bruce Lee in Pokemon. That is literally his characterization. That is literally how he is. Actually, in PokeStar Studios, in Black and White 2, you can find him and you can see like pictures of him acting, like genuinely having conversations with you as an actor, and you act in one of his movies. So, for that reason alone, I feel like I am completely convinced that this is a great character design. Because I think he was a traditional actor one. No. Like that's what I thought too when I first read that he's meant to be an actor. I thought he would be like one actor of those like Chinese novel films. I forget what they're called. I think they're called wuxia or something like that. If I remember right, that's what the name of the genre is. And I think that's a fair assumption. But no, he's much more inspired of Bruce Lee. Like Jackie Chan. Remember, Unova in particular is New York. So, it's the United States. It's America. Cue the Eagles and cue the Gunshots. So, I think it's a lot more plausible for him to be just a straight up, not rip off, more like a straight up homage to Bruce Lee, and that's why he's an action actor. Because he is described when you talk to him in PokeStars, in the PokeStar studio, and when you talk to him to the NPCs on the gym, he is described as though he does his own action scenes himself. Once again, like Bruce Lee. So, I think it's fun. I think it's also taking the motif of ice very well, because this could read a couple different things, particularly the white trim, but because it's so thick And because it's so soft looking, it reads more like fluff rather than a bathtub, like a bath towel. Because you run with colors like this, and particularly a very simplified kimono like this, you can run into the problem of it looking like it's a bath towel, like a bathrobe, rather than something that's meant to be, you know, traditional Japanese inspired. But because this is so thick and it looks so fluffy, it reads better as an actual like traditional yukata or kimono. I think it is more of a kimono because it has a very long sleeve. Yeah, I think it's a kimono, a traditional kimono. But the type that is meant to be worn as in winter, because once again, this is really thick. It reads like it's fur. And I like the subtleness or trying to incorporate eyes without it being too obvious. Because like at first glance, you would think that this is a fighting type gym leader, and that's fair enough. Again, he is doing action scenes, so they could have gone a fighting type for him. But not only the blue, but the pattern of his yukata reads so well as an ice type gym leader that I'm convinced about it. The mask is a nice touch. Oh no, yeah, absolutely. Actually, the funny thing about the mask is, at first I didn't know why he wears it because he's actually a very goofy character. But then it clicked to me. The reason why he's wearing the mask is because he's a fucking goofball. It's supposed to make him look a lot more severe than he actually is. And he tends to play villains in his movies. Like he plays the super villain. He plays like RoboCop, but like the evil one. You know what? Oh god, I just realized that probably some of you don't know what RoboCop is. You guys know RoboCop? You guys remember that, or am I too old? I hope I'm not too old. I hope I'm not too old. Yep. Okay. Thank God. At least somebody remembers. Oh. Yeah. So he plays RoboCop in one of his movies, and on the other one, he plays like a super villain. He's supposed to look similar to the Riddler. So that's the purpose behind his mask. It's supposed to make him look a lot more severe than he actually is, because he's just a goofball. The only thing that I think could be changed, and maybe this is just me, I feel like we didn't commit enough to the whole to the hair. I feel like his hair should have been longer. Like if he's supposed to be giving a little bit more of like a wuxia type of aesthetic, like, you know, traditional Chinese stuff, right? I feel like we should have gone with longer hair. Maybe. Who knows? Maybe this is just me. But yeah, I think he's fun. The fact that he's an actor, but specifically a martial type actor, is really selling me on this. And I like the vibes of a nice type gym leader who doesn't look like too much of a nice type gym leader, you know? We're introducing new ones. That's the thing that I was talking about earlier with the Genshin Impact. We're introducing new ones that is believable. Not new ones that is just written as an excuse. So yeah. Concept and motif. I mean, his concept is perfectly illustrated. You think this is Jackie Chan, for fuck's sakes? Come on. You think this is Bruce Lee? So perfect. 10 out of 10. We are also not dismissing the ice type by the diamond shapes that are introduced on his yukata. So perfect. Type representation. You will never mistake this dude for an NPC, for a normal NPC ever. I don't think you could try if you wanted to. You know what? I'm gonna make a little editorial change right here, because with how goofy he is, with how goofy of a personality he has, I kinda want this. Like, is it just me? Doesn't it look better like this? Like it I kinda want him to be Deadpool. Like that's all I want, really. I kinda like it like this, you know? Just no pupils. Why do we need pupils? Why do we need eyes for? We don't need to perceive the world. The world is shit. Let us just have mask and pretend. You know, like Batman. Yeah, like Batman or like Spider-Man, right? I like this. Like, I don't know. It makes it feel a lot goofier. And it still accomplishes the thing of making him look severe. You know? Without it being too weird, I guess. I don't know. This is... Please... Game Freak, if you are ever going to do a remake of Unova, this is what I ask you to do. Actually, I wonder what they will do if they do a remake of Unova. If they do a remake of Black and White, how are they going to approach that? Because Black and White and then Black and White 2 are two completely different games. Like, sure, they have some similarities with the gym leaders and stuff like that, but they are different enough that they cannot be merged into one thing. So I don't know what they're going to do if they do ever do like a remake. Because like, for example, he is not present in Black and White 2. I know, well, no, he is. He's in the PokeStar Studios, but you know, he's no longer a gym leader, right? But I wonder what they're gonna do with the rest, though. Because, like, there is also another gym leader who disappears from the face of the earth, and I don't remember which one it is. But it's replaced by the poison type girl. I forget. But yeah. I wonder what they're gonna do. What do you guys think they would do, Chad? Do you think they're going to, like, do a re-release of both games, perhaps? Would they... Or maybe what they're gonna do is just maybe the same thing that they did with Diamond and Pearl, which is be lazy and just give them a very, very slight overview. Like a very, very slight facelift. Maybe that's what they would do. But anyway. What was I saying? Oh yeah, I was writing this. Color palette. Honestly, the color palette's fine. I like the usage of a purple gray rather than straight up black. Because as I told you guys before, I'm bored whenever black is brought on the table as a contrast thing. Like, just straight up black tends to be a little bit boring for me. So when they use other colors that are like darker, but they're not straight up black, it feels better. And also it's a contrast that is not too sharp, so that it doesn't take you away from the fact that he is semi-topless. That he's that there is one nipple out. By the way, we're going to come back to this later. We're going to come back to this later with Russia. But take a drink every single time that an Ice-type gym leader has a fatal injury that prevents them from doing their chosen career path. Just, you know, keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Because that is a really weird coincidence. Yeah, if you didn't know, by the way, the only reason why he's a gym leader is because he got injured in one of his movies, and he was not able to act as an action star anymore until like Black and White 2. So, you know, keep that in mind. Yeah, lazy divided with something like part 1 and part 2 with DLCs. You know what? I could believe that Black and White 2 could be a DLC for the re-release of Black and White. All I hope is that they don't do the chivis though. Like, please give us something that's actually fun. Anyway, oh shit, I forgot to give his kind break. Oh, he's just a 10 out of 10. That's it. No more words to be said, Your Honor. No more words to be said. Oh shit. I forgot how to pronounce your name. I know your name starts with a W, but I forgot what your name is. Wolfric. Alright. First of all, Hava. You guys were asking earlier what my type of man is, and when I say I like big men, but I like big men like this, you know? I like him strong. I like him a little strong. Then again, though, my type is just anything that moves, so I like any men. Men, plural, is my type. with that out of the way, though. So, Wolfric. I actually don't have any idea what Wolfric is supposed to be. I did my best to find out. Don't get me wrong. I did my best. I read every single piece of dialogue related to him. I watch his fight. I tried to look at I looked at a couple episodes of the anime where he appears. I even tried to find like to find if he was in like Pokemon Master X, to see if there was anything I could find out about him that could give me any fucking idea of what he's meant to be. And honestly, I don't think there's a concept. I just think they wanted to make a hot daddy. And fair enough, I guess. Fair enough. Actually, no, there is a concept, but this is the type of character that works better in the anime than it does in the game. Because in the game, they barely bothered to incorporate the gym leaders into the narrative. The only time they actually did that, I think was supposed to be on Black and White. But from there, the gym leaders don't tend to do anything. Like, it's usually the Elite Four and the champion who tend to do something related to the story. But usually the gym leaders, they don't give a shit. Like, there could be a hurricane going around town and they don't do anything. A captain of ships on the Arctic? I mean, I could see that maybe. Well, wait. Wait, you might be onto something, actually. Wait, Pablo. God damn. I'm gonna give you a kiss. You might be onto something, actually, because his ace Pokemon is Avalok. And Avalok is supposed to both look like an iceberg. And Avalok is also meant to look like a ship. So maybe he is supposed to be a captain. Like an Arctic research boat captain or something. Like maybe he fishes there. That is actually a very fair assumption. Not gonna lie. I kinda like that. Damn. I wish they made a reference to it though. I kinda wish they made a reference to it, that maybe at some point he was fighting with a Marine, maybe. Just generally you can't tell. Like, with the additional context of maybe he is a captain on the Arctic, then it could work. But in reality, all he looks like is like a hot daddy. So, for a lack of a concept that is actually explicitly stated, I cannot give him a fair rating, because I actually don't know what his concept is. I tried so hard and I couldn't find anything. The most that I could find, and the reason why I say that he works better in the anime than he does in the game, is one thing. His main speech that he does to Ash Ketchum, and when you talk to him in the forest, is your relationship with your Pokemon. Like, you need to invest in a relationship with your Pokemon that's healthy, a relationship that will help you both flourish, that you're not trying to take advantage of your Pokemon. You know, it almost kind of sounds like a personal trainer, you know, like an inspirational trainer, like somebody who's giving you points to get better in life. And I could also see maybe like a trainer type, like an actual trainer, not trainer as in a Pokemon trainer as in, like, you know, he's a coach. I could see that, but it's a little difficult to tell. I'm actually a little bit disappointed. Like, I really do wish they would have gone with the whole he's supposed to be a captain on the Arctic, you know. I don't know. But anyway, let's go to the chart. Oh, also, I will say this facial here is doing something to me. I don't know. I kind of want to be weird about it. Can I be weird? Am I allowed to be a freak? Am I allowed? I'm not going to say hear me out, because this is not a hear me out. Nothing of importance one says with the hears me out, but listen. I'm just saying that I will show the Pokemon world a real catastrophe if they let me near him. I'm just gonna say that. Alright. Let's see, where's my rubric? Where's my rubric? There. Alright, concept and motif. I gotta be honest, there is no concept. There is absolutely no concept. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I can only make so many conjectures, right? But without any environmental storytelling, without anything on his character design other than he's wearing a jacket to tell me that he's a ice type, I can genuinely not be fair and say that he has a concept, because I don't think he has one. I think he's a character. He's a real nice character. He is the dad that's giving you pointers to, you know, doing your taxes. He teaches you how to do your taxes. But in the character design point, it's like, I don't know. I don't feel anything deeper than that. And so I think there's barely anything. When you drink, yes. Oh, you bet I do. Oh, you bet I do. I'm gonna be doing a lot more than raining. Anyway, this is the Lord's Sunday. This is the Lord's Sunday. I'm not supposed to be this nasty. All right. Type representation. I mean, I think it's as expected of a type gym leader. Like, I guess actually no. Actually no. Because of the tufts here and his whole stance, he actually reads more like a dragon type. I think it's because of the red. I think adding the color red, which, you know, red signifies passion. Signifies that behind his cold exterior, he has a burning passion. But because of this red and the shade of blue, it actually reminds me a lot more of Salamence. So it reads more of a dragon type trainer to me. Only the mustache reminds me of Morsas. What is a Morsas? Ah, wait, hold on. You mean sea lions? Morsas? Oh yeah, a sea lion. Actually, yeah, it could be. That's a great point, actually. His face is supposed to mimic a sea lion. I see. But yeah, I actually don't think that he represents his types very well, because to me I confuse him with a dragon type gym leader. So color palette though, color palette is great. I like this color palette. Once again, I'm against using black for contrast because it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right. To me, black just makes the color palette muddy. So I would have gone with maybe like a deep navy blue. But otherwise, this works. I feel it's fun. The red and the blue don't clash too much, and so it feels cohesive and it feels fun. But yeah, that's a 10, 12, 16. Oh my god, look at me, guys. I'm doing math. Are you proud of me, Mom? Are you proud of me? Are you proud of me that I'm doing math properly today? Oh, he's a 5. Oh, that's sad. I kind of want to give him an extra point just because he's hot. Am I allowed to do that? Am I allowed to be biased? Am I allowed to be unfair? Can I do that? Is that something that you guys will allow me? So no, I feel like I should be unfair. Just because he's really hot. Damn. No. No. Demons, go away. Demons, go away. Go away, horny demons. Go away, horny demons. We can't do this. He's a 5. He's a 5. He's a 5 with 10 for hotness. Yeah. Oh. Speaking of hotness. Alright, folks. Alright, you MILF lovers. Get it out of your system. Get it out of your system right now. Go on. Go ahead and bark. I'll be waiting. I'll be drinking some water in the meantime. We went from a DILF to a MILF. Ain't that lovely? Oh, God. Come on, chat. I know you're holding out on me. I know you want it. Mommy? Sorry. Mommy? Sorry. Mother? Maternal unit? Which is ironic because she is a mom. Like, I think that she is her first, like, mom character. Because we had a dad character before. Aside from your mom, which again, your mom is barely anything of a character. Like, all she does is wait for you to turn 10 so that she can kick you out of the house and she can finally have a room. Actually, I'm curious. In what generation did our mom stop like in what generation did your mom stop sleeping on the living room? Like, when did she actually acquire enough real estate to have a room for herself? Because in Black and White, she didn't have room. Was it X and Y? Was it X and Y in which she actually finally had a room? I don't know. You guys need to tell me that. Fact check that for me, please. Yeah, his son is the rock trainer on Sword. Yeah. Okay, so let's get into it, shall we? At first glance, when I first looked at her, when the game came out, I thought that her main gimmick is going to be the sport that she's trying to represent because, you know, most of the gym leaders in Sword and Shield, aside from football, they have a secondary sport going on. Or something that is like intensive to their body. So I thought that she was meant to be an ice skater, which, before we continue, guys, folks, did you know that there is not an ice skater gym leader yet? There is not an ice skater gym leader yet. I feel like the most obvious profession that you could have done, and there is no ice skaters? Like, it's so obvious it kind of fucking hurts. Anyway. Wait, I thought that was supposed to be her secondary sport. But as it turns out, when you read her personal card, like the little like trader cards that they give you in Sword and Shield when you defeat them, right? It turns out that her character concept is actually a coach. She's a coach. And to who is she a coach to? Well, her son. Her son, sorry. She's a coach to her son. So, I'm sorry to say, but I feel like there is a clear dissonance between the characterization that they give her on the game versus what she looks like. Because she's very soft. Like, she's literally a circle. Like, let's look at the silhouette for a moment. And where is my... Let's look at the silhouette for a moment. Like, Mama does a circle. Mama does a circle. That's just a piece of bread with legs. Well, it's not only that she's chubby, which, by the way, I appreciate that she's a bit rounder than most of their female gym leaders. I appreciate that a lot. But her hair is also just literally a circle. She's very round, and usually roundness when it comes to character design and anything like that, it indicates a soft personality. More for grab. Calm down, Chad. Don't make me get the whip. Don't make me get the whip. Don't make me get the spray bottle. You need to calm down. Did I do the same thing with Wolfric? Yes, I did. But I am the streamer here. You are the chatter. So maybe I get to do that and you don't. I'm kidding. You guys can goon, I guess. Literally your system. But yeah. So, with a character design like this, curves usually means softness. It means tender. It feels like caring. That's usually what circles in character designs usually are. Somebody who's inoffensive. The thing is, though, is that when you get the context of the way that she treated her son and the way that she's described, all of this roundness is a Hail Mary. It's not a Hail Mary. What's it called? Red something? Hold on, let me just Google that. What? Is it a Hail Mary? No, that's not that. What is it called? A red herring. It's a red herring. Like, it's a distraction. Because she's actually very severe. She's a strict coach. She is the type of mom that in her careness for her child, that in her wanting him to succeed, pressured him so much that they had a huge fight and basically denounced each other in a battle, in like a Pokemon battle. And keep in mind, Pokemon battles in this game are a spectacle. Like you're having them in front of God, Beyonce, and everyone. So to have a fight like that in the middle of a battle in the stadium is actually quite sad, really. It's quite sad and interesting. So I think that for that, her design works, I feel. Like, if that is the purpose, a gladiator battle with your own mother. Yeah, exactly. Like, the whole vibe that I get from her and her son. Oh my god, I keep moving this. The whole vibe that I get from her and her son, aside from, you know, exposing your mommy issues and your attachment issues in live TV for everybody to see in the whole country, is that this is a classic trope of mother who maybe wants her son to continue her legacy and is too strict to the point that she holds on so tight that he just falls right off her hands and let's go, and he leaves. He is not about to inherit anything that you give him. He's not about to inherit the company business. He wants to make his own business. He wants to head on her son, and she doesn't want that. She wants to protect her son. She wants it to be as safe that she can make it. She wants to ensure that his life is gonna be good. And so he was very strict on him, and they kind of fell out, you know? So I find it interesting, but I'm not really sure if that is like too well executed, you know? That cold and warm at the same time. Yeah. Like she's cold in accent, you know? She's being a bad parent, but because she's trying to protect her son. And I get that. I feel like that's nice. But I don't know if I really get that. Like, I'm not sure if I'm being a little bit too literal, because I think with the context that it has, it works. If this is supposed to be a red herring that is kind of hiding a mother that is toxic unintentionally, that it makes sense. But maybe there's need to be a certain sharpness to her, you know? It is very specifically described when you find other challengers that have fought her. It's very specifically described that the way that she fights is cold and brutal. That she leaves, supposedly, no opening for you to recover if she gets in, you know? So I feel like we needed a little bit of sharpness, you know? Like, there needs to be some sharpness in her somewhere. Like, maybe with her eyes. Oh, I don't know. Let me see if I can edit something here. Because this is just a little bit too round. Like, this is not enough. I get nice mom off a first look, so I say that the red herring works. No, I get that. I think it works pretty well, actually. But I think the main issue is that we need to trust the player to be smart, and we need to trust the player to be able to pick off a couple things without reading, you know? Like, you need to trust the play. You need to trust people to be smarter than they actually are. So I feel like what we could have done in this case, just to give some sense of sharpness, like hidden sharpness underneath this roundness, is to maybe turn these shapes into diamonds. Like, make this a diamond rather than a circle. Like, don't get me wrong, it's still soft. Like, it's still softer, right? It's still primarily still what you read is soft. But just introducing a little bit sharpness can help, you know, the people who like to theorize about this type of stuff just have a little bit more teeth to grab onto, you know? And also, it kind of helps more with the eye theming a little bit. Because sure, the white dots can read as snowflakes, like snow falling from the sky. That is something that could happen. But I don't know. I feel like diamonds as an expression of ice is a little bit better for me. But don't you think that looks better? And don't you think that sort of reads better? Like, I feel like it makes it feel a bit more cohesive with the whole character trope that they're trying to go. Well, one of her best Pokemon is the Icebox, so you have a lot of types to beat that. That's funny too. That's funny too. I love the fact that according to lore, because you know it is said when you go through the game that Ice type trainers are one of the hardest to fight. There is a reason why they have an order, right? They have an order, and it's from weakest to strongest. And usually the Ice type gym leader is all the way to the back. But it's so funny because Ice types are generally kind of garbage when it comes to taking hits, which is ironic because I've been watching a lot of videos on like the Pokemon meta and stuff like that, and people making their Pokemon themes and whatnot. And Ice is stat-wise is incredibly defensive. Ice types have a lot of defensive stats, but yet they have a bunch of weaknesses, and they only resist ice. So it's really fucking funny that they describe ice as one of the strongest types, but they basically get hit by everything. They're so fucking fragile, you know? Yeah, Game Freak make only defensive Pokemon ice and only resist themselves. I know, like, I don't know. You know what? I feel like it would be a fair thing to say that maybe ice types should resist. Ice types should resist poison? Because, like, how are you gonna poison? How are you gonna poison ice? You know? Like, maybe it should resist poison, or why doesn't it resist grass? Now that I think about it. Now that I fucking think about it, why doesn't it resist grass? When it's too cold, grass dies. Hello? Why doesn't it resist bug? Actually, dude, does it really only have ice type as a resistance? Hold on, I need to look at that. Where's the defensive chart? Again, I'm so confused. Why doesn't it resist grass? That is so fucking stupid. But it's great offensive like Sabletooth, that's legendary. Actually, I think that ice types are genuinely good when it comes to their defenses, right? I feel like that's okay. Because they actually tend to be really tanky, and they can take an ice, like a fire weakness to the face. They can take it. But man, why does it not resist grass? That's kind of stupid. Like grass and bug, you would think that they will resist. I don't know, Girly. I don't know. But anyway. Moving back on to this. I mean, I can see why it doesn't resist water, though. Like, I can see why it doesn't resist water because, well, water tends to be warmer than ice. Therefore, water plus water equal water. You know, like I can see why they wouldn't do that. But still, it's kind of dumb that it doesn't resist grass and bug. It's weird. But anyway, let's grab our little rubric here. All right, concept and motif. Well, the concept is obfuscated on purpose. Like, that's the thing. It's obfuscated, and it's supposed to be hidden. You're not supposed to be knowing this unless you read the extra dialogue. So I feel like I need to give it credit for that. Like, I need to give it credit for the fact that they tried really hard to hide her quote-unquote dark past with her son. So the red herring is working, but it's... I need to deduct points from the fact that we could have done a little bit more to make some sharpness underneath this softness, you know? To make him... Well, the thing is, though, I don't really want her to be a wolf in lamb's clothing. In sheep's clothing, sorry. I don't want her to be completely toxic, right? Because that's not the point. She is a good mom. She just made some mistakes. It's a real life thing that happens. So I don't really know how to approach that, to be honest. I don't know if I could make it better. So yeah. Type representation, I mean. Do you need me to tell you what type she is? You need me to tell you? Like, I feel like this is the most ice type that you could have ever asked ice type, you know? Like, there is no point in debating this. This is an ice type trainer. Point blank period. Color palette. I'm actually kinda having contrast issues. She's my type. Get out! Get out! You fucking horny bitches. You horny bitches. I'm having a little bit of contrast problems here. A little bit. Because they're using a little white, and that makes sense because in so far, no other Pokemon, no other ice type gym leader has abused white as much as she does, right? But that then creates a problem with both her hair and her face. Because if you do this, hold on. If you do this, hey chat, do me a real quick favor. With your HD huge gamer displays that you have, can you tell me what her face is? Like, genuinely, can you tell me what her face is? Can you tell me what her arms are? If you can't, you know why? Because you cannot see this. Either something needed to be done with the rendering so you're able to see it, or the hair needed to be darker. She's a platinum blonde. And I don't know, girly, like, sure, she's old, but you know, we need to be careful with this type of stuff when it comes to color theory. Not that dark, because I don't want it to be too dark. I don't want it to be too dark because then it doesn't properly color. Actually, that looks better to me. Hold on. Let me just copy and paste it so you guys can see the difference. That looks a lot better to me. Her face reads a lot more properly like this. Like, I know what they were going for. They were going for platinum blonde, you know, eyes. I don't know, maybe some type of albinism, maybe. Maybe leaning to the gray would be better because, you know, she is supposed to be an older woman. She's supposed to be on her 50s, so some gray hair makes sense, right? So, yeah. Yeah, color palette, honestly, it needs a little bit of work. The color palette could be better. Because I can barely tell her head from her arms apart, and that is no bueno. It's no bueno, folks. No bueno. But yeah, let's give her a rating. That is 8 plus 10 plus 4 divided by 3. 7. Damn. She's our highest score so far. Highest score. She's a 7. Fuck. You know what? She may be a 7. She may be a 7 in my rubric, but she's a 10 out of 10 in everything else. I don't know. I really like Melanie. Melanie? Is it Melanie? I forgot how to pronounce her name. I think it's Melanie. Yeah. I really like Melanie. I don't know. As a character design, she's fun. Like, this is the type of character design that you go... That you can find flaws on it if you poke hard enough. But that is just so appealing that you can't forgive it, you know? You can't forgive it. But if I didn't give Wolfric an extra point for him being hot, I cannot give her an extra point for her being hot, you know? So, she's a 10 out of 10 in our hearts. 10 out of 10 design for me. Of course you would. Of course you would. Oh. Alright. This is our last gym leader. Our most recent gym leader. Grusha. Or Grusha. I don't know how to pronounce it. Real? Oh my god. Is Despicable Me? We have Grusha. Smash. He's leaning a little bit too femboyish for me to say Smash, but he's cute. He's cute. So, Grusha is actually a lot darker than you give him credit to when it comes to his story and who he is as a person, right? So, remember when I told you when we were talking about Bryce? You know, if I had a coin for every ice-type gym leader who suffers a fatal injury and they're forced to be a gym leader because they cannot practice their chosen sport, I will have 2 coins, which is, you know, not a lot, but weird that it happened twice. Because that's the exact same backstory. They have the exact same fucking backstory. Because he is a snowboarding champion. He's a snowboarder. The scarf looks neat. I know, right? It's a really cute choice of introducing like the Pokemon aesthetic to it. But he is a character who is meant to be tragic, right? And although it is the same backstory, it's actually handled in 2 different ways, right? Because unlike Bryce, who kind of still does a bit of acting, you know, who is so goofy and so fun, right? Grusha is a serious person. He's a sad boy. Yeah, like Pablo says, he is sad boy. And there is no other way to explain this, so I'm just gonna say it the way it is. So when Grusha finally retired from being a snowboarder, like a snowboarding champion, like a competitive snowboarder, because of his injury, he placed so much of his self-worth into being a gym leader. Like, being a gym leader is all he has left. And I am literally quoting the game. He gets nervous around his meetings with Gita because he doesn't want to mess up the only thing that he has left that gives him purpose. By the way, if you hear my sisters, there's a football game going on. Just a football super fan, so you know, they get it. They do be getting kind of sad with poor Grusha here. It's a little sad. It's actually genuinely fucking depressing. But in reality, he's not meant to be that much of a sad character. He's just meant to be like a bit of a socially awkward. He's just a little guy who's a little bit socially awkward, you know? A guy who doesn't know how to cope with the loss of his ability to do his job, right? So most of what his type is trying to represent is most of what he's trying to represent in general is the general softness that it is to him, despite the fact that he's a nice gym leader. Like, his hair is completely geometric. And repeat, geometric. Not symmetrical, geometric. Like, it's full of points. Let me just grab this right here, so you guys can see this better. It's nope, that's not a good color for this. Oh. Come on, Brennan, use color theory for fuck's sake. Okay. Alright. So it does this. It does this. Like, he's literally full of squares. And the thing about geometric shapes like this that are so defined and square-like is that they're standoffish. Like, this is the opposite of what Melanie tries to do with her shape language. His shape language is standoffish, you know, is closed off. You get the impression that there's a person that doesn't want you to know further things about him, right? It's further emphasized by the fact that they were partially blocking the face, particularly the mouth. He does not want to speak. He's not a character who wants to speak or reminisce about the past. He only wants to focus on the now, but he's doing it in a little bit of a toxic way. So you would think that this would continue on the rest of his shape language, on everything else, his coat, his scarf, I don't know, maybe some diamond shapes on the tie highs that he's wearing. But no, it's actually really soft. We have really, really soft fur points. Like, this is genuinely the cutest scarf that I've ever seen in my fucking life. I want one of these. Game Freak, if you're selling one of these, I will purchase 11. In every color that you have it, I will purchase it because this is a really cute scarf. And so, what this gives me the impression, to me at least, I don't know if they expanded upon it when it came to the DLC of Blue Indigo. I don't know if that's something that it's addressed. But to me, I feel like the design and the clothes that he's choosing is choosing to tell you that he's a lot softer on the inside than he lets himself out to be. He is actually somebody who has a very fragile ego. Somebody whose whole worth and reason for existing relies on his job. And that would genuinely kind of need medical help if he were to fail to do that job, you know?
Oh God, I'll never make it this time. This is the end.
Aki Mitsutaka, hi darling. Damn, it's been a while. How you doing? Hello Raiders, my name is Dritten, your lovely fashion dolly. We are currently working in fashion reviews for the Pokemon Ice-type gym leaders. How was your stream? How was your stream, Takao? I haven't seen you in forever. I thought you died, girl. I thought you died. He's literally alone in the most highest place of Paldea. The gym doesn't have a house. The gym don't have a house or town nearby. I know. He does. Again, he wants to be alone. He wants to be on his own. But yeah, what did you do on your stream, Takao? Thank you so much for the raid and for sharing your community with me. I appreciate it. If you need to raid and bounce, I know, I understand. Streaming is a very, very hard thing to do. It's hard on your voice, it's hard on your body. So, if you need to rest, I understand. Hope you have a lovely day, and I'll see you later. But yes, we'll be currently working on the Ice-type gym leaders, doing like a little bit of a fashion review / character design. And we are almost done. We're on the last gym leader, and then we have the 2 elite. You guys hear that? You didn't hear my sister yell like a fucking banshee, right? you guys hear her yell? I hope you didn't. I hope you didn't. But yeah. After this, we're done with the game letters, and we're gonna move on to the Elite Four, and then we're gonna do our bonus triumph card, which is Ice Type Miku. Perdió la América. I actually don't know. I actually don't know. I think I actually wait. No, it's not a football game. It's lucha libre. Watching lucha libre. So I don't really know. I'm a little bit too gay for that. I don't know anything about sports. I've been better getting back into doing art and stuff happen, but I'm getting back to streaming. Today we play Kingdom Hearts. Oh, nice! I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you for coming back. I hope you're doing okay. You should reach out more often, girly. Reach out more often. My DMs are open. I would love to speak with you more. But I'm glad to see you back, sweetheart. I genuinely hope that you enjoyed your time streaming again, and you know we gotta hang out. All right. But yeah, that's really all I have to say with Russia, though. I think he's a very nice and competent character design. It has a lot of good colors that don't really, you know, that don't really contradict anything that he's trying to say. You know. The only one thing that I personally have a bit of a bugbear is why are we using black, Mary? Why are we using black? Like, this is the black is black. Like, I know a contrast, but you know, another color. Choose another color. I don't know. Something else. I don't know. Change your choose. Something else. I hate this mode. I never gone higher than beginner mode. Oh, I know that basically when you play Kingdom Hearts in anything but easy mode, is basically playing a Souls-like game. You're playing a Souls-like, so it makes a lot of fucking sense. It's just his souls. Well, actually, if we put it that way, if he's wearing black underneath to represent his poor emo heart, then I guess I can see that. I guess that's a valid thing. Still though, blue, dark blue. Why are we using black? It just models the color palette for me. Anyway. Let's move on to the rubric. All right. The Bird by Sleep Proud is into bad, to be honest. I haven't died that much. Ooh, girl. I cannot wait for you to get into Kingdom Hearts 3 and Proud, and then you're gonna wish that you were never born. Only like 15 times in 7 hours? You were playing for 7 hours straight, girl. You have some stamina. I could never. Okay, concept and motif. I feel like he's great. Like, the concept of a person who is so passionate about his craft that was forced to quit it, and then he has now become deeply depressed. Yeah, I live for that. That is delicious. That's some delicious angst, bitch. I live for that angst. And it's represented very well, you know, standoffish, but softer on the inside. I like that. Type representation. I mean, once again, the most Ice type that has ever Ice type. I mean, his fucking hair is quite looks like literally carved eyes. So there is no room for improvement or error. It's fine. Color palette. The black is really bugging me, but I'm gonna leave it up. I'm gonna give it a pass. Cause he's emo. He's an emo boy. So we can excuse the black a little bit. He's going to be listening. Be listening to. Oh, what's the name of that song again? Wake me up inside. Can't wake me up inside. Save me. Oh, who the fuck sang that song again? Shit, I forgot. I promise I'm old enough. Oh, what was that song? I'm gonna Google it because it's gonna bother me. Hold on. Oh, Evanescence, Bring Me to Life. Yeah. He listens to Bring Me to Life by Evanescence. Thank you for letting me know. Yeah, appreciate it, Taco. But yeah, I can excuse it. I can excuse the black. But yeah, he's a perfect 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10, folks. 10 out of 10. There's nothing more that need to be said, Your Honor. He's my son, and anything that happens to him, I will cry. I will cry if something bad happens to him. He deserves nothing but the best. Wake me up inside. Can't wake up. Wake me up inside. Save me. It's such a banger song. I love that song. You know what's crazy about that? What's so fucking crazy about that song though is the fact that she actually didn't want the rap portion that a lot of people love in the song. So when she sings it live, she makes sure that she doesn't say that she doesn't do anything to do with the rap, that she removes the rap from the soundtrack. That's crazy, isn't it? Dude, Evanescence song for the DMC, the anime, is a banger. I don't think I ever seen the Devil May Cry anime. Is it good? I've seen Devil May Cry, but my only exposure to Devil May Cry is horny tweets on Twitter and Devil May Cry 5. But other than that, I don't really know that much. Alright. Lorelai, the remake. Not the actual original one, because the original one is actually kind of ugly. But this is Lorelai, our first ever Ice-type trainer. Price was our first ever gym leader, but not our first ever trainer, because that's Lorelai. That's Miss Lorelai right here. So, in the remake, they tried a lot harder to make her seem sharper, to make her seem more threatening than she actually used to be, because, you know, when on the original anime and the original game, they didn't have that much design space. Like they were supposed to fit a character design inside a pixel. First type elite trainer and first type elite S-type elite 4. Yeah, I mean there's only 2, but yeah, she's the first of many to come, you know. Isn't Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee the last remake of her? Yeah, it is. It is. Actually, this is the one that I'm talking about. This is from Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. Is that Parasol from the hit indie fighting game Skullgirls? Get out of here! Get out of here! I actually never played Skullgirls. I never played Skullgirls before. I don't really know. Maybe I should look at Skullgirls to see if there's anything interesting happening in the character design department. But yeah. So we have Lorelai. So Lorelai is supposed to represent the Ice type more so in personality than she does in looks. Because, you know, her outfit is a lot more subtle when it comes to the hints to the Ice type. Aside from the fact that she's wearing a hair scrunchie that is shaped like an ice shard. But, you know, she has spiky things, like spiky character things. Like her lapels are spiky. They're making a lot of references to diamonds, both in the shape of the cutout on her chest, like the what's it called again? The bosom, I guess. Fuck, what's this area called again? Oh, I know the name. Bodice? No, it's not bodice. Fuck. Neckline. No, it's not neckline. Cleavage? No, it's not. It's not cleavage either. What is this part called right here? Shit. It's the bosom. The bosom. We're talking about her boobs, okay? We're talking about the shape that this takes. They make a very careful decision to introduce a lot of diamonds. The color. No, it's not what it's called. It's like, it's not really neckline, but I don't really know what the word is. It's escaping me. But yeah, anyway, the cutout And the whole like language that they have introduced here is the shape of diamonds. You know, a sharp shape that kind of hints to her nature. Because Lorelai is a businesswoman. It's a hot 80s, 90s businesswoman with shoulder pauldrons. She will not take bullshit. She owns all of the company, right? So she represents the ice type more so in her demeanor rather than her clothing, because she's just, once again, I'm gonna say this as a description of her personality, not necessarily about the shape language. She is sharp. She's a very smart character. So there's really nothing that much to say except that this is a masterclass. This is a masterclass on design. It may be a little boring, but I feel like it's a classic. You know, it's a classic of a character trope of the business chic woman who, you know, you don't really want to mess with. You know that the men underestimate her, and that cost them their downfall. And you can see that she's not cold, that she actually has a bit of a fiery passion to her, that she has maybe even a certain type of anger on her, with the fact that her hair is this bright cherry red. Like, if you want to do a hot-headed character, if you want to be obvious about it, if you want your audience to know that there's a certain amount of hot-headed, like, temper to your character, make them a redhead. Make them a redhead. I guarantee you that most people will be able to know that there is some type of hot-headedness to your character. And in this case, her hot-headedness comes from the fact that she is actually a bit brutal. Like, she's a bit... Oh, how to say this in a way that makes sense? She will step on you. Let's put it that way. She will step on you, and not in a sexual way. She will stomp your neck with her heels. That's the type of trainer that she is. But because she's calculating, and because she's making more deliberate choices than thinking just with her feelings, she represents the ice type like that, you know? She's calculated. She's cold and calculated. That's the best way that I can put it. And actually, I have no notes for her design. Businesswomen tend to be brutal. Yeah, I mean, it's a brutal world. For women in particular, to climb the corporate ladder is a very hard thing to do. So it requires a lot of strength. It requires a certain type of wit for you to be able to be part of corporate and be a very successful businesswoman. So it makes a lot of sense. I have no notes. 10 out of 10. Don't even need the rubric. Don't even read the rubric. 10 out of 10. If you have any inclination that she might be a fire type trainer, that's the reason why they have this little scrunchie right here that is just an ice shard. Just to let you know, in case you forgot, she's an ice type gym leader. Well, an ice type Elite 4. Same difference. But yeah, 10 out of 10. Don't really need to talk about it. Oh, speaking of cliches and speaking of tropes that are well, used in this game. So this woman, which I forgot the name of, I think his name is like Glacia or something like that. Yeah, Glacia. Her name is Glacia. Karen. Yeah, her name is Karen. Indeed, this is Karen. Okay, so Glacia is a very, very simple character. And it's simple but effective. Because all she's playing with, her trump card, the thing that you need to know about her, is that she is the Ice Queen. That's her character trope, the way that you're supposed to recognize her at, and what makes her different from Lorelai, from Candace, from, I think that's all the ladies on the Ice type gym leaders, from Grusha. You know, I guess you can count him too, I guess. This is the Ice Queen. She is cold. She is pale as paper. Her hair is blonde. Bottle blonde, if you will. Her outfit is regal. And kind of sharp, too. This is just an ice queen. Like, there's no way to put it. It's an ice queen. And so, because of that, I could say that I may be a bit bored by it. Because it doesn't seem to be that there is that much personality to her other than that. Like, maybe she's just a bit of a mommy, if you will. A bit of a mother figure, if you will. As, you know, YouTube chat is so eloquently putting it. Sam! So there, I really don't have much to say about her. Like, I appreciate the use of purple instead of blue. Because... you know, purple in particular, I don't know if it's the same thing about lavender, but purple in general tends to be considered a color that is very, very hard to find in nature, in dyes, in everything really. Purple is the hardest color to replicate in real life. If you try to print something that's supposed to be purple, 9 times out of 10 is gonna look a bit more bluish and a little bit duller than it actually comes out on a screen, right? Because pigments cannot make a purple like this. ¿Es la puerta, por favor? ¿Se puede cerrar? Gracias. So, I appreciate the use of that. Because, you know, this particular color of purple tends to come around a lot with the plum fairy. Yeah? You get indigo. Yeah. You get indigo, which is a derivative, which is in between blue and purple, right? And this particular color is connected to royalty, right? Because purple is such a hard color to replicate. It's expensive to make. Therefore, a lot of royals used to when the color got popular, used to wear purple. So it doubles down on the fact that she's an ice queen, but also it makes her a bit more distinct. Because in so far, all of the other gym leaders have been wearing, you know, either warmer tones but still pastel, or blues, maybe a little bit of red, cyan, but nobody has worn purple yet. So it's a very nice color to put her out together. And it's also the color of it reminds me of a little bit of an aurora borealis, you know? So yeah, I don't think there's that much that needs to be said. I think she's perfect the way that she is. I think it's a 10 out of 10. You will not confuse her for any normal character. You will not confuse her on her typing. Like, I feel like this is very clear that this is an ice type. So I think it's a 10 out of 10. Aurora Borealis at this time of year, at this time of night, at this hour. I actually don't know what the full quote is. I don't know what the full quote. But yeah. And we are done, at least for the official character designs. But we need one more. You guys need to see this absolute... If you thought... Hold on, everybody. I need your full attention. Here, folks. If you thought that Lorelai was the owner of the company, oh, I'm so sorry to tell you. That you are dead as fucking wrong. You know why? She owns the company. She owns the franchise. She started the franchise. She is, in fact, Lorelai is renting from her. So this is voltage ice type Miku. And goddamn, what a Miku. What a Miku. I love the play with androgyny. Like, androgyny is not something that a lot of character designers do, and I feel like it's such a an underrated thing to do. So I love the play with androgyny. I like the fact that we're doing the same thing that we did with Lorelai, which is introducing sharpness through shoulder pads and through diamond shapes, but taking it further beyond that, because this is 10 times bigger than it's supposed to be. Like, those shoulder pads are on fleek, Mary. They are big, they are strong, and they make her out to be much bigger than she actually is, because she's actually very small. She's actually very skinny. I really like the shade. Even with the shading, they're including like this diamond sort of like fractal pattern. And can we talk about these heels? Like, I don't know how this happened. I don't know how you're able to do this. Like, can we address the moment? Can we? This is such a ridiculous ass shoe. This Miku's a billionaire. This Miku's a billionaire. Only a billionaire will do something like this. It's so dumb, it's so stupid, but I love it. I love the extravagance of this. Even the hair too. Like, the hair is a little bit ridiculous. I ain't gonna lie. The hair is maybe a bit much. But I don't know. It pulls it well enough together so that it feels... It feels nice. It doesn't feel like it didn't commit. I'm glad that they committed with the campiness of this. This is camp. This is pure and absolute camp. So, if Lorelai is the businesswoman, she answers to Miku. She answers to Miku. Miku is the owner of everything. The world is hers, and we are just living in her world. Also, can I just say, I really like the idea of the purse. I like this little purse with the little bit of red right here. You know, just suggesting that maybe this purse either wasn't hers, or it just holds something of importance to her, you know? But yeah, I love this Miku. I think this is my favorite Miku of the whole collab. I ain't gonna lie. I really like the play with androgyny. She can style you with any part of her body. Hell yeah! And that's what we strive for here. That's what we strive for. Yeah, I don't know. I love this Miku. I really love the idea, the play with androgyny that they're doing here. But yeah. All right. With that being said, folks, we are at the end of the stream. But yeah, how do you guys enjoy this stream? Do you guys have fun? Do you learn something better? Something better about your characters that you know about? Tell me now. Let me know. Do you have any feedback maybe that you want to tell me about it? I'm open to it. Which, by the way, I wanted to ask you guys something. You know, now that I have you guys here and I have you engaged, how do you guys feel about collabs? Do you guys enjoy the collabs that I do sometimes? Because I've been thinking about it, and I feel like sometimes the engagement with collabs is not as high as it is with my solo streams. So I was wondering how you guys feel about it. No pressure to answer though if you guys don't want to. But I'm just wondering. I'm thinking about it, you know. I'm thinking about it. Thinking about it hard enough. Oh, also, before we go, I'm not gonna grade him. Because I don't have the energy to. My voice is about to die. My voice is about to give out. But can I just say? Let me just do something. Hold on, Chad. Hold on. Can you take a picture of me and my boyfriend together? Can you hold on? Let me get closer. Can you like don't we look cute? Don't we look cute together? Aren't we cute? I want to... Okay, no, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. I was gonna do something. But I'm too much of a coward. You know what? No. Life is not being about cowards. Life is about taking risk. And what I'm gonna do is the following. Hold on, let me make sure that I'm in the right place. Hold on. Am I in the right place? Nope. So, and with this, Chan, I hope you know and understand that I'm risking everything for this moment.